Hey guys, Chris McLaughlin here, and it's great to have you on the State of the Crypto webinar. I'm here with Grant Nadu. Grant, how you doing?
Fantastic. We're super pumped to have you guys. We know there's a lot going on in crypto, so we're really happy you guys are here for the webinar to learn as much as you can, hopefully save some money, hopefully make some money.
Hopefully save some money and make some money. But the lawyer in me right now, guys, has to give you the earnings disclaimer. So please look at your screen right now, and you're going to go over this boring webinar disclaimer. But what I want to tell you right now to get this, kind of the elephant in the room, we're not going to be showing you a million times returns and all these crazy things that you're seeing, because honestly, we respect you more than that. We all know that you can make a bunch of money in the crypto space, okay? Without a doubt that is a possibility for you. But we also want to stress to you that you should only be risking the capital you can afford to lose when it comes to the crypto space. So don't do anything that you shouldn't be doing. But please look over this disclaimer, make sure that you're comfortable with it, and then we can move on. So Grant, does that sound good to you?
Yeah, we've heard a ton of stories recently, especially with the craze, any craze, and Chris is going to share a little bit about his experience with crazes. But you start hearing people do crazy things like mortgaging their home and all kinds of stupid stuff. We're here to have the Smart Crypto webinar, as well as the Smart Crypto coaching program, which you'll hear a little bit about later. We're here for these things because we don't want that to happen to you. We want you to have fun. We want you to make a ton of money, hopefully, but we really want you to make smart moves. So definitely take time on that disclaimer.
So who is this for? So if you're here, you've noticed that there is a Bitcoin craze going on right now in 2018. This is a very, very big deal. But we don't want you to get too overcrazed about the entire process. So who is this for? This is if you've noticed the Bitcoin craze, but you don't know really how to get started. Okay, that's what you would be doing here today. And also if you have a fear of missing out. So you've got, you're figuring that, man, maybe this is the ground floor of cryptocurrency trading, maybe it isn't. We're going to be talking about that in the state of the crypto market, which we're going to be talking about. But that's also maybe something that you're also thinking in the back of your mind as well. So, and then finally, it's the fear of getting scammed. And we're going to be talking about scam coins in this webinar. We're going to be talking about some real life scams that could happen and how to avoid those. So we're going to be sharing with you how to do that. So now the question, Grant, is who is this not for?
Well, crypto is not for everybody, and so we say this in jest, but we kind of mean it. This is not for whiners.
Yeah.
Investing in general is not for whiners. You've met whiners in real estate investing. You've met whiners in all kinds. Crypto is not for whiners. It's also not for complainers. We've met some people who said, oh, crypto, that's just a fad. That's just a craze. That's for people doing criminal activities. It's not for complainers. That's not for you. The unteachable. We're here as educators. We love educating, we love helping you, and we think riches often come on the other side of education. So this is not for the unteachable, and it's not for the uncoachable. You've got to have people who are willing to learn things that they hadn't previously learned before. So it's not for the uncoachable. And lastly, it's not anyone looking for a crystal ball. There is no crystal ball on this stuff.
Right.
This is not to get rich overnight. This is not to get sucked into these MLME scam coins, which we'll talk about. This is not about a crystal ball. This is about being smart. This is about using good investment principles, and this is about avoiding the traps, which we'll cover.
Absolutely. So what are we going to cover on this webinar? Well, first of all, we're going to give you a little bit of background about us and why you should listen to us. Because obviously, if you're on Facebook and you're on Google and you're seeing all of this stuff out there right now on cryptocurrency and crypto investing, you're probably a little confused as to who you should be trusting when it comes to the source of information that you actually need to know right now. So we're going to be talking about the cryptocurrency market and where it's actually going. And then we're going to give you the top 5 crypto traps. So the top 5 crypto traps are really going to be important for you to understand the context of everything that we're going to be sharing with you today. And then finally, we're going to introduce you to the Smart Crypto Accelerator, which I'll be very honest with you right now, is our course that we're going to be sharing with you at the very end of this webinar. So it's something that you really want to give a lot of thought to. So a little bit about me. Who is Chris McLaughlin? Well, first of all, the most important thing is I am a father of 5. So I've actually been very busy these days, if you can imagine. Florida native, and I reside in Central Florida. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a master's in business. I am a licensed in good standing attorney with the Florida Bar Association, so I'm an attorney as well. And I'm an investing expert. I've invested in tons of different opportunities, private companies, you name it, I've probably had an opportunity to invest in it. And then also, I own a diverse portfolio of real estate, stocks, precious metals, cryptocurrency, which also, of course, includes Bitcoin right now. So how did I get here? Well, the reality is I attended Georgetown University back in 1991 and graduated in 1995 from the undergraduate program. At that time, I was actually elected the university student body president. So I was probably that guy back in college. So that guy that might have been a little annoying, maybe a little overeager. 1995 was probably my year when I was elected student body president at Georgetown. I graduated then furthermore, I spent another 4 years at Georgetown. So I was at Georgetown for a total of 8 years. And I got a master's in business administration from the McDonough School of Business at Georgetown University. And then I also graduated from the Georgetown University Law Center with a Juris Doctorate, which means I'm a lawyer. And then I passed the Florida Bar Association's bar exam. So I'm actually, again, a lawyer in good standing with the Florida Bar. So the reason I tell you this isn't to do a bunch of bragging on me, but to give you the credibility that you need. I mean, how many lawyers are actually talking about cryptocurrency right now? How many people with a master's in business are talking about cryptocurrency? Because it seems like it's the wild, wild west out there, and you need to have some context for what you're going to be, learning about and who you're going to be learning from. And then at the time, when I did all this, and I graduated from the Law Center with my law degree, and I had an MBA, and I did the undergraduate program, I actually thought I was going to be a full-time practicing attorney. Well, that didn't really happen because at the end of my term at Georgetown, I was actually getting educated, by a guy named Dean Everett Bellamy, wonderful gentleman who was the dean of the University Law Center's program. And so he taught a class called Small Business Law Seminar. Well, he gave me an opportunity to actually do a business plan, which I actually did. So I had a term paper, essentially, is what you would kind of call it, at my class called the Small Business Law Seminar. Well, the term paper was actually putting together a legitimate business plan. And what I can tell you is that I actually started a stock trading news site completely kind of in my mind, put it on paper. And my professor at the end of the day gave me an A- on the class, which was pretty good, but I wanted an A. But what I can tell you is I started a company called smartportfolio.com. And I did it with kind of out of my dorm room, if you would, with 2 other classmates at Georgetown University, along with another gentleman outside of the university. And I invested much more in this particular opportunity than I did with the grind of a legal career. So I really enjoyed what I was doing much more than actually the grind of being a lawyer. So what I did is I started this company with essentially no money because, of course, I was kind of a poor law student at the time. I didn't have a whole lot of money to start it. So I really had to think about, how am I going to do this? But I was fascinated by the stock market. I was learning tons, and this company was just absolutely starting to take off. So there was essentially a stock news trading site that you could actually buy newsletters teaching people how to do the stock market, how to invest in .com stocks at the time, how to do large cap stocks, how to understand IPOs, all the things that we're kind of talking about in the crypto world were actually pretty relevant back in 1999, in 1998, and in the year 2000. So my only problem was that my parents, when I was doing all this, said, "Chris, we want you to get a real job." And so that actually ended up kind of, being kind of interesting because I had a job offer from a really prestigious law firm down in Florida called Holland and Knight. And they wanted me to work in their corporate division. And so they're wonderful people and a great law firm, but I just wasn't that excited about it. But I did have full disclosure, and I told the hiring partner at the time, I said, "Look, I've also got this company that I've started that's really taken off." And he said to me, "Chris," he said, "we need your full-time and best efforts as a lawyer, and we can't allow you to have this company at the same time as also working at the law firm." So they helped make my decision for me very quickly. So when they said that they wished me the best, but they had to be either a lawyer or an entrepreneur, I kind of knew at that time that it wasn't going to be for me, and I needed to go and put my MBA and to work more than my law degree. And so I turned down the job at Holland and Knight in Florida and decided to spend all of my time doing a startup called smartportfolio.com. My mother was not happy. My father wasn't happy either. So they had really were pretty upset with me. But by the grace of God, I convinced my mom to actually make a small investment of $5,000. That's literally all the money in the world I had at the time, $5,000 to help me invest in some computer equipment so I could actually get this company up and off the running. When she wrote me the $5,000 check, this is a true story, she actually handed it to me and she said, "I'm pouring my money down a rat hole."
What?
So wasn't necessarily the most supportive environment at the time, but it was also one of those things where people, when they say that you can't do it,
Yep.
that gets you even more fired up. And so that's exactly what happened. And so the publication grew to over 10,000 paid subscribers all over the world. And we ended up selling it to TheStreet.com, which is a publicly traded company. And if you're familiar with CNBC, the show Mad Money, Jim Cramer on that show, Mad Money, is one of the founders and principal stockholders in TheStreet.com, which is a wonderful site. And I served as vice president of strategy for TheStreet.com after our acquisition for a year. So sold it back in December of 2000. And my mom's, of course, return on $5,000 would make any investor very, very envious. So she
Yep.
made a whopping return on her initial capital investment. So, and just on your screen right now, you can see that, this is the Wall Street Journal. It's kind of a proud moment of my life when they featured me, getting acquired by TheStreet.com, and they had an article in the Wall Street Journal noting that. So it was pretty amazing. So what did I do then? Then I just cashed out my earnings essentially from this, pretty significant sale, and I started actually investing in real estate. And I bought up 4 offices, and right now have over 860 agents all throughout Central Florida with my real estate empire, so to speak. And I personally acquired hundreds of properties within my, which my staff currently manages for me. I have a property management company as well, and on top of owning the 4 real estate offices. So very, very large operation. We actually we will do $1.5 billion in closed volume this year. So really an amazing, feat for just a couple of years, I think. But what I will share with you is, if you really think about it, back in December of 2000, that's kind of when the bubble was popping for the dot-com boom. And of course, having owned a real estate office from 2003 to today, you know that I was fully invested and fully participating during the real estate bubble as well. So those are 2 major bubbles that I was actually able to make money on, both the beginning of the bubble and at the end of the bubble, which is really, we're going to talk about that later on in this presentation. So I also wrote a book, which actually I'm very proud to say was actually featured as the bestseller in the real estate division, the real estate investing section of Amazon.com. So I was a bestseller on Amazon.com, but I was also for 1 week the bestseller in the business category of the New York Times bestseller list in the business category. So I was really proud of that my book did as well as it did, and actually a little humble brag was that I actually exceeded sales of Elon Musk's book one particular week of the year. So that was kind of cool. And my local real estate company currently does over $1.5 billion in sales. And you can see that there's an article on the screen right now that shows, again, proof that the local real estate company that I own actually exceeded $1 billion sales for the 2nd straight year. This is a few months old. And we're tracking again for over 1.5 billion for 2017. Of course, now we're in 2018. So why are we even talking about all of this? Well, what I want to do is again give you the context that this is coming from the fact that, are we in another bubble? And Chris, how do we learn from you and from your friend Grant that you're about to introduce to us? How do we learn from you guys to make sure that if we're in another bubble, we can actually monetize and make the most of it? So what I want to say emphatically is, yes, this is a bubble that you are participating in if you're currently in the crypto market. Without a doubt, it's going to be a bubble. And in fact, a lot of people are going to lose some money. But what I can also share with you is bubbles have ups and bubbles have downs, and you can make money as bubbles are going up, and you can make money as bubbles are going down. So it just depends on how you're actually responding to the market and actually analyzing and advising people how you can actually make the most money. So yes, we're in another bubble, but understand that the dynamics of the bubble is how you can actually make money, again, both before and after. So my point here is that you actually can learn from experience. And what I want to impress upon you, not trying to impress you here, but to impress upon you, is the fact that I have successfully managed and made money in both major bubbles, the dot-com bubble and also the real estate bubble. And so what I can tell you about that is that you can make, again, big money before and big money after those particular bubbles. But when it comes to this whole Bitcoin thing and cryptocurrency, I got to tell you that you have to acknowledge, first of all, that yes, this is a bubble, okay? This will actually come to an end for certain cryptocurrencies, for sure. And then there will actually be a pullback in others. So what I can also share with you is that you need to get expert advice on making money in the industry so you can capitalize on that bubble. So right now, you are perfectly positioned because you're watching this webinar right here with us. So you're doing exactly what you should be doing. Now, what I can tell you also, comparing this particular bubble, which we are in, with the last two major bubbles, is that this particular bubble requires a little bit more experience than the last two. And what do I mean by that? Well, the reality is identifying over-leveraged property in the real estate bubble is actually pretty easy to do. Okay, it's not that hard to figure out the market price of a property and then comparing it with the amount of leverage or debt that it has. And if the person's not making their payments and it's going into foreclosure, then you can probably pretty much bet that that's going to be a good buy. Well, how does that affect cryptocurrency? It's going to be a lot more difficult, to be honest with you. So what I can tell you is that, to be honest, I had to find someone that I knew and I could trust that knew all about this entire market. And that's when I found Grant Nadeau. And what I can tell you is Grant Nadeau is an expert when it comes to cryptocurrency, and quite the knowledgeable person as he's about to demonstrate to you and share with you some of his knowledge. So Grant, tell them a little bit about yourself.
So just a quick background on me. I love all things cutting edge, and I love learning. I'm an obsessive learner. As such, we established the State of the Spark. And the State of the Spark, for those who don't know, it's a community of small business owners who basically we build and launch businesses together, and we train ourselves and our employees how to ignite lives of explosive significance. Obviously a lifestyle brand. We're passionate about launching people, launching businesses, and finding those narrow niches that other people aren't into yet. Along the lines, we've launched 4 small businesses that actually support that entire group. We call them infrastructure companies, and we've got people managing those. We've then built an entrepreneur coaching brand, which State of the Spark has kind of evolved to, which led me to owning multiple investment properties and authoring 7 different books, including the Top 100 Dream Igniter, which I'm passionate about.
That's awesome.
So we really try to serve people, but we also make a point to know that we have the latest and greatest knowledge on a given topic and can deliver that in a way that people understand and can act on. So I applied this when I started hearing about cryptocurrency. I applied those same traits and those same skills, and me and my entire team really dove deep, starting about a year and a half ago, a few years back, on what is this? This has been around for a while. Is there an opportunity? And more importantly, can we teach people about it? So in the last year, I started taking just hobby money and investing it. And again, these aren't promise of returns. These have just been my personal returns of turning my hobby money into a return of almost 3,000%.
3,000%.
3,000%.
That's pretty impressive.
So it's been super fun, and we've learned a lot of principles along the way. We've gotten stung a lot along the way, and those education components have really continued to inform the learning journey. So basically, what we want to do here is tell you where we're at. What is the state of the crypto market? And I think this is really important for people entering today. So real quick, what we want to show you is this quick graph here is a very simplified version of an economic curve model of any time the internet or new ways to buy and sell real estate, or in this case, cryptocurrency. This is the technology curve right here. And if you notice just a few quick points, at the beginning is a technology trigger. And this could be, again, a new mortgage type. This could be, hey, what's this thing called internet? It could be the steam engine. Today, it's cryptocurrency. It's a trigger. Then everyone starts, you could track that curve all the way up. Everyone gets involved. This is where I told Chris the story where I knew a real estate investor in the middle of, just before the real estate crisis, and he came in from golf. And he threw his golf clubs down. He was super frustrated. I said, well, what's going on? And he said, I just talked to my caddy, and my caddy doesn't know that I'm in real estate. And my caddy turned to me and said, hey, man, you won't see me next week. I'm going to start investing in real estate. He said, that's when I knew it was time to get out. And so he sold a lot of his holdings at that time. This is where the bubble and burst comes from in almost every bubble. So once peak of inflated expectations happens, it tanks. The pros have already taken a lot of their money off, but what they're doing is they're learning. They're learning and they're watching from everyone's mistakes. The noobs and the people inexperienced start losing their shirt, and then what we call the trough of disillusionment happens. This is where you lose the non-pros, but this is where institutional investment and regulation typically step in. Because the pain has happened, and the peak opportunity is occurring. And so then you start to see this other curve, which is the slope of enlightenment, and this is where real opportunities start coming online. Very basic, I know. I didn't make this up. This is, you could read an economics book and see this for yourself. So what you see right here is the Wall Street cheat sheet. We didn't invent this. Check out the wallstreetcheatsheet.com. This is even more detail on how these economic cycles work. But a real quick point I want to make is in this red spot you see on the screen there, there's a red spot right there, and this is called the peak, the center of peak opportunity. This is where the bubble has burst and everything's exploded. This is where the most amount of opportunity is. So then I want to just move forward real quick, and show you this is an economic curve applied specifically to cryptocurrency. And the reason I show this to you is we're going to be talking about the traps here in a second. We're going to be talking to you about the things you can avoid. And we want you to avoid these things to save, protect your downside as much as possible. What you're going to see here is just at the peak of the curve, it says supplier proliferation. We're going to talk about that. This is when people out there think, hey, I could offer a free crypto course, and they shoot it from their webcam. They've got no experience. They've got inflated return examples, testimonials that they've made up. You want to watch out. This is when anyone and everyone thinks, hey, I'm a genius.
Everybody becomes a guru.
Everybody becomes a guru. So this is roughly where we're at. Does that mean it's too late for you? No. We'll talk about that in the Smart Crypto Coach, in the Smart Crypto News. We'll talk about that some other time. There's always an opportunity for you here along the way. So this is where we're at. We're at almost the peak of this, and regulation is going to come down in 2018. IRS has already started passing some laws.
The SEC is got some enforcement action against unregistered securities, and that's going to be happening more and more as these ICOs start to proliferate. You're
going to have to start filing your taxes with information on this stuff, and for those who don't, they're going to start getting penalized the following year. You really need to pay close attention to what's going on. This is the state of the crypto market. So when people see this, they go, okay, well, I'm considering investing, but can I actually use Bitcoin for anything? If you watch the news, they say, how many times have you seen them say this, Chris, where they go, hey, the Bitcoin's not backed by anything. I can't use it. What good is it? I mean, you've heard that. I've heard that.
I hear it all the time.
So who's actually accepting Bitcoin? Again, this is important. If you invest in anything, you want to know, are people consuming it? If you were Warren Buffett buying Coca-Cola, you want to know people are using Coca-Cola as you invest in that. So just a quick example of what's ahead of you. Who is actually accepting Bitcoin as a form of legitimate payment? Microsoft. You can pay Microsoft in some of their services with Bitcoin. Bloomberg.com. You can pay for their service with Bitcoin directly. The Dish Network. WikiLeaks even takes Bitcoin. Definitely. And many, many more. If you go to gift.com, that's GYFT.com right now, and you take Bitcoin, you can exchange it for gift cards from almost anything. I mean, Domino's will accept it. Lowe's accepts it. Amazon. I mean, we're all doing our shopping on Amazon. You can basically use your Bitcoin, get a gift card on gift.com, and actually make all of your purchasing that you normally do on Amazon with Bitcoin. This is getting so prolific that they've got gift cards at Whole Foods. So if you shop at Whole Foods almost anywhere in the country, you can use your Bitcoin, get a gift card from gift.com and other technologies like it and other businesses like it, and actually use that Bitcoin to buy your gift card and purchase your groceries, the things you consume every single day. Next, what's coming out is a powerful technology, and there's others like it, but one that I really love is Crypterium.io. This is so cutting edge. This is where you can actually have a Visa, American Express, or MasterCard in your pocket. And when you swipe at the register, it'll actually real-time exchange cryptocurrency, and you've purchased it real-time. What this means is this is a credit card technology that allows you to buy anything with cryptocurrency where Visa, MasterCard, or American Express is accepted. This is a mind-blowing time. So when these news anchors are saying, hey, can I use it? It's worthless. It's not backed by anything. This is real currency being accepted. And just a quick background on this. This is a technology that's integrating all of these loosey-goosey exchanges. We'll be talking about exchanges in a second. But it actually ties together and synchronizes all of these exchanges so that when you're at the register and swipe, your money, you can see right on the screen, your money moves from that exchange to a centralized exchange, converted into real US dollars, and boom, you take your Whole Foods home, you take your Amazon purchase home, it's done. Check that out for yourself at Criterium.io. You can check that out.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So there's a lot going on,
There's a lot going on, Grant.
but there's a lot of risk.
There is a lot of risk. If you don't know what you're doing, you can certainly get into some traps.
Definitely. So in the next section, we're going to cover the top 5 traps we think you should avoid to make sure you're maximizing your profit and minimizing your downside.
Absolutely.
So to that end, we're going to cover the top 5 traps. And these are things that we definitely want you to write down. These are things we want you to sit down and listen in on. I know we talked a lot about context and credibility, but these are things we want you to be able to say, hey, I'm going to avoid these things
Right.
for
And
sure.
this is where right now, to be honest with you guys, this is where the fear comes in, is because the reality is this is the wild, wild west out there.
Yeah.
And while Grant and I are bringing some structure to the wild, wild west, we're also going to bring you these top 5 traps so that you can understand just what we're talking about. So, Grant, talk to us a little bit about scam coins.
Definitely. So the first trap is scam coins, and we kind of bundle a few things in scam coins because there are scam coins, and these are coins that literally are only created to benefit the creators.
Yep.
So most cryptocurrencies, as you'll discover, or coins of any kind, is there to have a functional purpose or a currency purpose, which benefits the users, right? It benefits the technology users, or if it's Bitcoin or Litecoin, it then benefits the actual currency users. A scam coin is when someone has malicious intent.
Right.
So let's look at a few of those. Beware of false prophets. This is great. Beware of people that are promising these daily returns. And in fact, if it's cryptocurrency and they're promising returns,
Right.
they're talking about the wrong thing. This isn't even
Right.
the conversation.
Right.
So, so what we want to look at is there's 3 types of crypto scams out there. Number 1 is pump and dumps. There is a particular fellow who's famous in the community who will remain unnamed, but you'll probably know who they are. And they had for a long time their daily coin, and then now it's gone to their weekly coin. Now, some of these coins are legitimate.
Right.
Some of them are not legitimate. So pump and dumps is a crypto scam of its own because it's false or irrelevant factors moving the price of that thing.
And let's be honest, this is just kind of like penny stocks.
Yeah.
So go back to the stocks that you can buy on over the OTC, the bulletin board, and what moves those stocks essentially is news or fake news or anything like that. So the pump and dump, this is very similar to what is already going on with penny stocks. It just happens to be going on in the crypto space now.
Absolutely. So I mean, we've seen some of these fads go on in the stock market. You'll see this happen in the crypto market.
Right.
So Ponzi schemes are the second type of crypto scam out there. The tough thing about Ponzi schemes is some of the people, initially the first people in or the first wave, have made or obtained a ton of money.
Right.
But as you know, I hope you know, with any Ponzi scheme, that's when money is made for those people only by new money.
Right.
And not by any performance of the underlying technology or legitimate market moves.
Right.
So right now, there's several. We won't name some of these. If you write in or ask your questions, we'll definitely try to answer what some of those are that we've seen, and we'll actually show you a few as industry leaders have called them out.
Yeah.
But you need to be aware of Ponzi schemes, and there's going to be a lot. Hopefully, when regulation comes in, they'll put a stop and a kibosh on some of these things.
Right. We've also already seen some enforcement action from the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. We've seen a little bit of enforcement action. We expect a lot of enforcement action in 2018.
Definitely.
So that's part of the state of the crypto market is just expect some of these scam coins are now going to be coming under fire. Where during 2017, for the most part, towards the latter end of 2017, they had a little bit of enforcement action. But in general, because the crypto market is decentralized, they don't have the big brother looking over your shoulder all the time, and that's why, frankly, there's a lot of fear out there. But that's also why we're here to help dispel some of the myths and the rumors and everything else, and kind of show you what could be a scam and what might not be a scam.
Absolutely. So the third crypto scam out there is MLMs, and as we note here, it may also include elements of the first two.
Right.
MLMs, though there are many legitimate MLMs out there, and we don't want to knock those, there are a lot of MLM approaches to a currency that just don't apply. It's the wrong application for the technology or for the currency itself. So just be aware of those for sure. So a quick smart crypto tip, anytime you have anything that is getting a lot of media attention, both in the news and on social media, investors need to be aware of pump and dump. So again, like if you're waking up today and you're checking the news and it's gone, this new coin is going to the moon. It's something they say quite a bit. It's great potential, but do your research. Yep. Did some celebrity just pump that thing, and then when you buy in, they turn around and dump
How many times have you heard the term the next Bitcoin? So, you know, that's just goes to right off the bat, you should already be a little apprehensive if somebody's saying this is the next Bitcoin.
And I know you've heard some of these stories, but we even recently had a friend who mentioned to us that another friend of his invested 100 grand, and one of these celebrities posted this coin, it shot up, it more than doubled, and then the celebrity said, whoops, my mistake, wrong coin. And then the guy lost 50% of his original investment.
Yeah, true story.
Beware of the pump and dump. This stuff happens, guys. So investors are much easier to deceive and get all caught up in the hype of a particular investment that they often turn a blind eye to what could have easily been avoided. So if you've got a ton of money in, whether or not that thing has value, you secretly will want that to go up no matter what. Other investors think the same thing, and they might not have the same moral compass that you or I do. So just be aware that that could happen to you.
Yep. So now the senior statesman, you know, in me has to kind of take over a little bit because we've seen this before. And we've seen this back in the dot-com boom. So this reminds me a little bit about the Pets.com boom. As you can imagine, Pets.com raised $82 million just because it had the word .com at the end. Okay, so back in the dot-com boom, the bubble was happening, and everyone, if all they needed to do was just get a .com behind them, and then people would just throw money at it. It didn't matter what it was, and we're definitely seeing some of that in the crypto market right now. That's why again, you need to really filter who you're listening to and why you're listening to them, because there's going to be this, essentially history will repeat itself. And so Pets.com went from $14 to 22 cents a share, and of course then was delisted and sold off. But think of eToys, think of Pets.com, all of the kind of stuff that was back during the .com boom that I lived through, where there was ample opportunity to make money, but you just didn't want to be the last person holding the bag.
And this has actually happened recently where people were renaming their listed companies that might have been struggling on the stock market and added the phrase blockchain, which is a cryptocurrency term. They added the term blockchain to their new corporate name. It skyrockets, and it's just a way for them to have maybe a healthy exit.
Sure.
So be aware of those things for sure.
Absolutely.
And this doesn't just happen to the crypto market. It doesn't just happen in the internet boom. This is happening in several booms, specifically cannabis stocks right now. And the cannabis boom, it exploded in Denver or Colorado. But because of recent election, with cannabis now being legalized in 29 states, there's been a lot of hype and media attention and buying of penny stocks in cannabis companies. I actually bought some penny stocks in a cannabis company, and this thing hasn't moved one iota. It hasn't moved at all. I was just curious, and I thought I'd take a shot. It was money I could lose, thankfully, and I went in with eyes wide open. I knew it was a speculation, so I didn't lose my house or anything crazy. But it can happen anywhere. What most people don't realize, however, is that 90% of cannabis stocks are simply pump and dumps. And you got to be aware of the pump and dumps. I heard of an essential oil that was doing a bunch of cannabinoid oil, and they were literally just trying to pump and dump that stock. So there aren't real companies with a solid business plan and they aren't real companies that have a solid business plan and no intention of providing any legitimate product. Again, this goes back to my original definition. A scam coin is when it's made solely for the benefit of the creators.
Sure. Let's talk a little bit about MLMs.
Sure.
And of course, you've got just an example, the MLM Zeek rewards. Literally, I think there was a gentleman who had an $850 million scam. So, MLMs are things to really be quite, cautious about. Just because the company has a fancy website, folks, doesn't mean that it's legitimate. And the reality is with MLMs, clearly they're trying to say, look, MLMs are helping adopt the currency because more and more people can participate, and they have an upside and all of that. The problem with it is that it ends up starting to look more like a Ponzi as opposed to a legitimate multi-level marketing system. So it's looking through those as to, you know, what's coming is the same thing. So for instance, the MLM industry is of course proliferating in the ICO, or the initial coin offering space right now. So what we're finding is that these initial ICOs are popping up left and right, and they're all saying, oh, we're going to be the next Bitcoin. They're all also going to have some restrictions where you can't cash out of them.
Yeah.
So that's also becoming, you know, more and more prevalent, where people are tied up for 6 months and they're thinking, oh, well, hold on, everybody's already made their money off this ICO. I'm left holding the bag. So, and some of them are using, as I mentioned earlier, the multi-level marketing to try to encourage adoption. But what they're also finding is that it's actually becoming a little Ponzi-esque. And so the substantial majority, what I can tell you right now, of ICOs aren't worth the pennies that they're trading for right now. So the substantial majority of them, because people, again, this is back to the .com craze, where if you just threw a .com behind it, just as he mentioned with, you know, throwing the word blockchain behind it, things start going up. And that's where you got to be really cautious and start thinking, well, what am I investing my money in? Am I investing or am I speculating? And guess what? It's okay to speculate with money that you can afford to lose. And that's what we're talking to you about on this. It's okay to speculate. You know, it's no different than, you know, going to Vegas and betting on black or betting on red on the roulette table. But just, you need to understand that you don't go and mortgage your house over something like this.
Don't risk money you can't lose. A few quick case studies that are fairly recent in internet years is the basically ICOs and ICO hacks. Now, are these technically scam coins? Well, not for the original intender, right? With an ICO that launches, there are a ton of crypto scams, and they are plentiful. And CoinDash's ICO lost $7 million before the Ethereum address it was using to solicit funds went to a hacker's address. This was going on for hours. You want to be careful of these things, and this is the Wild Wild West. Now, is that a scam per se? No, but it's not a scam from CoinDash, but it is a scam for hackers. So this was one of the top, this was on top of the $50 million. That's right, the $50 million that was stolen from a project called the DAO. This almost killed the Ethereum project. This was a huge hack that went on. Again, this wasn't Ethereum scamming at all. Ethereum's a fantastic coin that some of us hold. But the scam comes in when these hackers stick in and inject their code. It can get really, really hairy. Another quick case study, LCF coin pre-launch, when they started using the name Rothschilds behind it, and the Rothschilds had to come out with a press release. The financial advisory firm basically came out and issued a stern warning that the name was being used to pump and dump their coin, the LCF coin.
And there's fake news out there all the time. For instance, I saw fake news with regard to a particular coin saying that Warren Buffett said to buy it. Well, Warren Buffett didn't say to buy it, but if they just tweet, you know, and all of a sudden people get caught up in this hype, and that's where you have to be cautious. And so there's a prominent family called the Rothschilds where there was a coin, you know, trying to think, oh, this is their coin. And so all of a sudden they're like, whoa, we don't have anything to do with this, nor can you use our name. And of course, again, just another scam out there that you got to be cautious about.
And you know what? The scammers in this situation almost don't care if that warning comes out. They know the Rothschilds are going to correct these things eventually. This is where the pump comes in. And as soon as you think, oh, well, the Rothschilds are behind it, I'm going to go invest, that's when they dump and you're left holding back.
And again, 2018 is going to be the year of enforcement and more government regulation. And so we did see towards the end of 2017, the SEC bringing forth an action where they actually said, look, Plexcoin, which apparently had promised 1,354% profit in 29 days. Wouldn't that be great, guys? Okay. The SEC came in and said, whoa, this isn't going to happen. And they said that they were, I believe, selling unregistered securities. And so, again, something that you need to be cautious about, something that you need to keep on the top of your radar.
So to further this point about the SEC enforcing next year, they've even got a new group. Now, this group is generally about cybersecurity. It's a new group of the SEC. But these were the ones who came along. This particular group is now being tasked to kind of root out and find some of what we're calling scam coins out there and put a kibosh on it before the public loses their shirt. This isn't the SEC trying to raid on anyone's parade. They want to see legitimate use of this technology. A lot of government agencies are exploring blockchain. They want to get these scam coins out of the way, so that's coming.
One of the things you can also look at are the industry leaders. So clearly the founder of Ethereum or the founder of Litecoin, These are folks that are very well versed when it comes to cryptocurrency. When they weigh in on things, it just gives you an opportunity to pause. And so, again, an MLM that's out there that's very popular, has a very large market cap, that we would urge caution over would be BitConnect. And so while we're not sitting here trying to say what some of the other founders of these cryptocurrencies have said about BitConnect, it's just something that we want to say, hey, be cautious about it. So it might not be the best use of your money right now when there's so many other opportunities out there that don't have quite the shadow hanging over them.
There's plenty of other areas to invest
Right.
that don't have that shadow,
Right.
that the founders of such prominent companies like Ethereum, like Litecoin, that they're actually backing and supporting. There's a lot of other ways to make money. So if anything has a question mark in your brain, you probably want to stay clear, definitely. So, so be careful of MLMs in the crypto space, 100%, huge warning. We urge massive amount of caution when it comes to anything like MLM coins, as many of them are simply Ponzi schemes. So avoid caution, caution, caution big time. So-called opportunities like this will definitely make initial entrants like yourself or any noobs like that at all wealthy, but leave the last guy holding the bag. And how do you know that's not you?
Yep.
So be very careful. So how do you avoid crypto scams? Simply put, in general, if something is promising 1% daily returns to you, that ought to fall in the category of too good to be true. So we definitely urge you caution with this, as well as other MLMs. And then get information from people you know and trust. Whether it's the developers, whether it's an investor you know that certainly has made money, whether it's another Smart Crypto Coach student that you've talked to, whoever it is, someone that you trust. And we, of course, believe that we're one of the most trusted sources. So congratulations for listening to our voice. We're not just trying to pump and dump you on a coin. We're actually trying to educate you.
And again, that's why we actually have Smart Crypto Coach, and we're going to be talking about that a little later in the webinar and how you can get involved with that along with our Smart Crypto Accelerator. So let's talk, Grant, though, before we do it, about trap number 2, which happens to be unstable exchanges. And, you know, what exactly is an exchange for some of the folks that are just, you know, just coming on this webinar and haven't ever been to an exchange?
So a crypto exchange is just like getting a currency exchange at the airport or other currency exchanges. It's a place where the medium used for exchange is fiat currency into cryptocurrency. So you can take your US dollars or your Japanese yen or whatever it is, usually US dollars, and exchange it for any cryptocurrency. Legitimate use, right?
Okay.
It's a very legitimate use. But what you're probably referring to, what you guys have probably heard, is a lot of the scary things going on with, hey, this is such a new industry. Are these things stable? Well, up until recently, not really.
Yeah. And there are unstable exchanges. So the most famous unstable exchange is Mt. Gox. And that was essentially happened back in 2014 where the entire exchange actually just folded up. And it was quite the disaster. For instance, they had 850,000 Bitcoin that were stolen or missing.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine 850,000 Bitcoin? Of course, back in the day, it wasn't worth what it is today, but certainly that's a lot. That's a lot of Bitcoin that come up missing. And you know, you can imagine with the price now, you know, over 10,000 plus. You know, just how much money those folks actually lost on that exchange. So, and what I can share with you is, according to the news reports, not a single consumer that lost that actually ever recovered it. So it was quite the disaster. So that's the most famous exchange failure out there. It's called Mt. Gox.
Absolutely. And it's not abnormal for there to be unstable moments and even legitimate exchanges.
Right. Sure.
You know, so it feels like unstable exchanges are the norm. And in any new industry, as a new technology like a currency exchange is getting its legs, instability is the norm. It's changing rapidly. I do want to put confidence in you that those exchanges that have legitimate developers working, it is getting stable, but you got to look out for them because currently it is the norm. In fact, Bitfinex, which I traded with for a long time, I've now since moved to another exchange, basically it's been dropping certain cryptocurrencies. This could mean that you have a cryptocurrency that you got into at a good time, it grew and it's been growing, and you're pumped out of your mind, and you go to withdraw your money, And it's just a frozen account.
Frozen account.
Is it the exchange? Maybe. Is it the currency not having enough wallet speed or network speed? It's a lot of things. And how do you know? Or how can you know that it's not going to become freed up quickly? NEO and ETP dropped as much as 90% in minutes until they recovered. And if you're not careful and you sell out, that's a 90% loss.
Right. So what we found even recently on exchanges is, the most popular exchange is Coinbase. And what happens is if there's a lot of mention, let's say on CNBC about particular coin getting added to Coinbase, the entire Coinbase community starts going nuts wanting to buy it. Again, it's kind of a pump and dump happening. And then Coinbase freezes up because they have so many people trying to buy that particular crypto at the time that they literally freeze up. And so some of your orders, might have been placed at a very high level, and then you can't even sell until it gets down to the dump level. So a lot of that's going on right now.
To that point, I remember where I was during the GDAX flash crash. My wife and I were at a diner in our hometown, and we were sitting there just talking about cryptocurrency and where it was going. And we had bought it, and it was hovering in this 200 to 250 level. And I looked at my Coinbase account, and I saw that the listed price was something like 10 cents. And I thought, oh my gosh, I got to get in and buy some up. And so I tried to log in. I couldn't log in. It was completely frozen out. Well, it was only listed at 10 cents because someone had some residual open orders from a while back. You want to say years previous, and somehow they all got triggered. Now, good for them.
Yeah.
Except for the rest of us missed out on that, and we were frozen out of our accounts. So these things can happen even in the most reliable. So we would warn people, don't leave money in an exchange. The only money that should be in your exchange is money that you intend to trade. The rest of your money should definitely be elsewhere. Not only because of these flash crashes, but hacking could occur.
Right. And that's where we are talking about wallets. And that's actually our third trap, which happens to be, how to protect your cryptocurrency from hacking. So, but before that, again, it's just another reason why you want to start really thinking about joining the Smart Crypto Coach team, joining with us with the Smart Crypto Accelerator. So just think about what we've already talked about in these top two traps. Scam coins and the unstable exchanges. You can tell us the wild, wild west out there, folks. And so what we're trying to do is just bringing more structure and more knowledge to you about some of the real perils that are involved in this particular type of investing. So the third trap happens to be about wallets.
And it's not a trap to know your wallets, it's a trap to not know your wallets. So you need to make sure you know, because you can get trapped if you don't know how to manage them. Now, I will say, we cover wallets in extreme detail in the Smart Crypto Coaching Program, and we'll talk more about kind of what that covers. But whether you're buying Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, you need to place your crypto in a safe and secure wallet, which is outside of the trading platform, because as we just discussed, they're not always the most stable and they're not always the most secure.
Right.
So we definitely need to be doing that. So it's just not safe to keep your Bitcoin or cryptocurrency on the exchange, at least until there is consistent security proof in the news and reliability coming around these things. So you need to keep them in what's essentially a wallet, but it does get a little more complicated.
So let's go over the three types of wallets, Grant.
Absolutely. So you have a paper wallet, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that. But in general, there's a paper wallet, a desktop wallet, and a hardware wallet. And these have varying degrees of security. So cryptocurrency, it's a totally hot topic, and that means hackers are on the lookout to steal your crypto big time. And since crypto is inherently decentralized, there's not an easy government agency to call if you're a victim of crypto stealing, and the nature of cryptocurrency means that even if there were an agency, they can't recover it.
Right.
So you got to be careful. So there's little to no insurance these days, so knowing where to safely store your crypto is absolutely critical. So here are the two quick keys that you need to have when it comes to protecting your cryptocurrency. One of them is your private key, which is just a mix of a lot of numbers.
Right.
And the story, we've got a photo here of the Winklevoss twins because they just made the news of taking their billions in crypto and separating out their key, cutting it up and spreading it around the nation. If I had $1 billion, I might consider something in crypto.
Until things really settle down, I definitely would look at multiple locations for multiple risks.
Yeah, so. And it's basically your digital signature. So it's like someone being able to write a blank check with your signature all day long. You want to make sure you protect that. And then you get a public key, which is essentially a sign in your yard showing people what address to send your cryptocurrency to. So that people have access to. So people actually have half of the equation right there if you're not careful. So real quick, their paper wallet is basically a printout of your private and public keys for you to keep. You can technically, literally keep it in your wallet like a dollar, or keep it in a safety deposit box, or like the Winklevoss twins, distributing it around the country. The only disadvantage here is that if you lose your paper wallet, you'll lose your money.
You lose your money, and that's not good.
No, I mean your key's gone. It's like not having the key to a safety deposit box and knowing that there's a brick of gold in there.
Right.
It's totally lost to you. The next is desktop wallets. Totally powerful. They're accessible usually from a single computer. Neon is a popular option for all cryptocurrencies built on the Neo network. You can earn rewards to store your cryptocurrency there, so you might even get a little cryptocurrency back in NeoCoin just to store your Neo-based cryptocurrencies there. And Exodus is another leading desktop wallet that allows you to exchange cryptocurrency right from the wallet without having to go to a separate exchange. So it's an all-in-one. It's very popular right now. Lastly, MyEtherWallet is a fantastic one. So just like Neo is a platform where there's cryptocurrencies built on top of it, Ethereum is a platform and actually a world computer that other apps are built on top of. MyEtherWallet is a great place to be storing your Ether and your Ethereum-based cryptocurrencies. You could have a paper version of this, and it helps you print off a paper version, as well as having cold storage. You go plug in, which we'll talk about the hardware in a second. There's also mobile wallets such as Jaxx. Jaxx is a little less secure than you ultimately want to use if you have large sums of money that you want to protect from hacking. So it's available to you, and there's dozens of others, but these are just a few of the more popular ones.
Yep.
And lastly is the hardware wallet that we're going to cover for this section. It's the most secure. It's a hardware wallet that you attach to your computer with your USB. The big difference between the hardware wallet and other wallets is that it has your private key inside your wallet.
Right. And so I actually use the Ledger Nano S, which is actually featured here on the webinar.
Absolutely. This cold storage requires a PIN, so it's just another layer. So even if someone gets a hold of it, they still need your PIN to hack it. So the two most popular are the Trezor and the Ledger, which we featured the one definitely there. And of course, we want you to know what wallet is right for you. We cover a ton of this in the Smart Crypto Coach program, and because this industry is so fresh, there's new technologies all the time. There's new resources all the time. We're actually shifting tools. I know that professionally, I try to shift the tools I use with some frequency. When you're part of the Smart Crypto Coach program and part of Smart Crypto Coach Facebook invite-only group, you're going to get insider view of some of that stuff.
So Grant, our fourth trap is actually putting all of your eggs in one basket. So the reality is, with the potential returns that you're looking at, choosing the right cryptocurrency to invest in, it's very easy to say, oh my gosh, I'm just going to go all in. I'm going to put a mortgage on my house. I'm going to go all in. I'm going to take all of our money and just, and go crazy. What I can tell you is, in an interview with Mark Cuban, who's the famous billionaire who owns the Mavericks, he was actually saying, look, if you're going to do this, and first of all, I don't want to tell you that he was saying do it, but if he said if you're going to do it, take like 10% of your net worth and let it ride on on some Bitcoin and Ethereum, and again, I'm paraphrasing from what the news article said. But what I can tell you is you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket, because even though you're investing, we don't have a crystal ball. And so things are going to happen. And we do know that 2018 is going to be the year of regulation. And so when that regulation comes in, guess what? It's going to hit some certain cryptocurrencies depending on what happens with it. So you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket. You want to have a well-diversified portfolio, and you don't want to have any of the scam coins in it. And you want to make sure that of the coins that you do have, that they're going to be the ones that are going to be safe, secure, the ones that you know are going to be around. So just like the dot-com boom imploded, but guess what? What was around during the dot-com boom? Well, you had Amazon, you had eBay, you had some really great companies that are still great companies. And so the same thing is going to happen, in my opinion, with cryptocurrency. So when the bubble pops, it's going to pop, but let's make sure that you're in the right names.
Yeah, and one thing I've been doing is when people come up to me on the street and say, hey, we heard you're into the crypto thing, what should we do? And they're like, hey, I'm mortgaging my house, or I've got this $100,000 like our friend. And they said, I just threw it all in. And I thought, why would you do that? I wouldn't do that with a single stock.
Yeah.
If I had a chunk of money to invest, I would, again, loose rules, do your own thing, don't invest with money you can't lose, but I take half of it and put it to the side.
Sure, and I can share with you that, you know, my wealth is still, the majority of my wealth is tied up in real estate. So, you know, I'm not going to go and over leverage all of that real estate all just to buy cryptocurrency. Do I think it's a great opportunity with cryptocurrency? Of course. But am I going to put all my eggs in one basket? No. So that's the fourth trap, because we're reading too much in the press right now that people are just doing whatever it takes to go ahead and bet everything that they've got on Bitcoin or, you know, another cryptocurrency or some of these altcoins. And guys, what we're here to tell you is that you need to have a good coach. You need to have someone that's going to walk you through this, but you also need to slow down and make sure that you know what you're doing. And that's why we're offering the Smart Crypto Coach program to you. That's why we're going to be offering Smart Crypto Accelerator in just a few minutes to you.
You want to be hearing from the pros. You want to be learning from other people's experience. I don't know of a better group of people that we've been surrounding ourselves with than some of the people we'll introduce you to in the Smart Crypto Coaching Program. Definitely.
So the next trap is really the paralysis by analysis. And so what you're going to read about is that, you know, Bitcoin's a bubble and there's bubbles out there and blah, blah, blah. And so what happens is you don't take any action because you don't know, you know, well, guess what? They called Bitcoin a bubble when it hit $1,000, folks, and look at it today. So, you know, let's realize that a lot of the naysayers out there don't want it to succeed. Because they've already gone on record saying, oh, we don't like this decentralized idea. We don't like, you know, Bitcoin. We don't like Ethereum. We don't like, you know, some of these other coins. But what I can share with you is that the fear of missing out is going to take over, and you're going to start thinking, you know, oh my gosh, you know, I've missed out on Bitcoin. You know, now I'm going to go all in because I don't want to miss out again. Not the right approach. You need to dial it back just a little bit. But I will say, how would you like to be the guy that took his Bitcoin, who thought it was worthless at the time, or essentially worthless, and got 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin? So well over $100 million worth of Bitcoin in today's market. So you can see that, you know, not all things, you know, and I hope those pizzas were really good, because that's, you know, that is not what you want to be doing.
Analysis can get overbearing. And, you know, we all hear these stories.
Yeah.
And we want to jump in and go, oh my God, if only I could have gotten in then.
Right.
You know, and the weird inverse thing happens. They wait too long.
Right.
We've got a good friend who, we were doing some work with Smart Crypto Coach, and we were talking about our holdings, and they said, well, I'll wait. They waited, and then they said, okay, I finally bought in. Well, what'd you buy in at?
Yeah.
And they bought in at the all-time high.
Right.
And so now they're a little gun shy, so they were over analyzing what's the perfect time, and they kind of invested everything. And now that Bitcoin has pulled back since then, they're over analyzing. Now I'm going, hey, buy. Warren Buffett said, what did he say?
Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy.
Yeah, and so now he's over analyzing, should I buy in now or anything?
Yeah.
You can literally drive yourself crazy.
Sure. Absolutely.
And so we don't want you to get paralyzed. We want you to just get started in an intelligent way. So analysis paralysis, over-analyzing or overthinking a situation so that a decision or action is never taken. We do want you to take action.
Yep.
We do want you to, we want you to stop taking action because you simply don't know where to start.
And sometimes you don't take action because, you know, you're thinking to yourself, well, what's this wallet thing about? You know, and that's where, again, we're going to introduce you in a few minutes, the Smart Crypto Accelerator, where literally it's kind of a paint by numbers approach, where you can get into cryptocurrency in a very safe manner without taking all the risks that unfortunately some of your friends have already taken, and it didn't work out as well for them. So,
and we also don't want you to be paralyzed by not being sure which crypto trade is legit and which ones are not. We don't want you to do that at all.
Guys, this is all driven by fear. And so as you get a little bit more familiar with the crypto space, there's essentially 2 types of fear that we talk about a lot. First of all is FOMO, and that is the fear of missing out. And I'm sure if you're on this webinar right now, everyone's got a little bit of FOMO.
Yeah.
And even I have a little bit of FOMO of not putting enough on a certain coin that I really know is going to do well. But the reality is, you know, that's something that you have to govern. And then the other, you know, is FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And that's kind of where the pump and dump comes. So it's that, you know, fear, uncertainty, and doubt all of a sudden, because now it's dumping. and you're like, oh my gosh, well, I can't get in it. So the key to both of these is focus, okay? It's focus. It's understanding that you're going to be able to govern your fear of missing out, and you're going to be able to govern the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt with focus. And so you want to use rational principles when you're making decisions that impact your livelihood. You want to move forward, not backward, with the right focus for the future. And frankly, I just want to congratulate you, because if you're on this webinar, and I think you would agree that this is a high content, you know, a lot of training. We're going over a lot of stuff for you.
Yeah.
If you're on this webinar, guess what? You've already succeeded. So this is why we've created an easy to follow, step-by-step digital training course on how to safely buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And it's called the Smart Crypto Accelerator. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about the investment grant.
Absolutely. I mean, whether or not you invest your first $1, your first $100 in cryptocurrency, whether you're thinking about investing $10,000 or $20,000 in cryptocurrency, the first dollar you should be investing is in your own education.
Absolutely.
Now, whether that's investing with us or somebody else, it's so important for you to be a smart crypto investor, regardless of doing business with us or checking out the Crypto Accelerator. But what the Crypto Accelerator is, it's a digital training which you get instant access to as soon as you enroll. It's 24 lessons broken up into 4 different Power Pack sessions. We spent a ton of time putting this together.
Grant, walk us through those sections. Talk to us a little bit about the sections and what they actually, you know, entail.
Absolutely. So the first section is, what is crypto? And this is where we actually explore the basic vocabulary, because you don't want to look like a fool if you're talking about this to other investors and you're just not using the right vocabulary. And it also helps you understand how each of the individual currencies are moving. Then in section 2, we cover, how does crypto work? Like, what are the actual underlying technologies? Now, we don't try to make you like a wizard engineer at this. We just really try to help you understand, what the heck is this that I'm buying and investing in? Then we actually help you get started quickly. You actually get to hover me as I go in and show you how to start an exchange account, how to actually make my first exchange purchase, how to actually buy and hold cryptocurrency. So by the time we're getting done with that section, you actually will be holding your own first crypto.
It's a paint by numbers
Yes.
system on how to actually get started investing in cryptocurrencies immediately.
100%. And then the last section is simply section 4, smart investment strategies. This is stuff that we're doing on a day-by-day basis and analyzing cryptos to understand, is this crypto really an opportunity or is it not? Right. You know, but we want to actually make sure that you're fully equipped of this. So their first bonus that we give you is 30 days of coaching from yours truly. And we want to make sure that you have absolutely the latest and greatest information. So we have weekly market recaps on our live group coaching calls. Every single week you're hearing from us. We're answering solid questions. We're going to be interviewing industry professionals. These are people who are involved from the legal side or are already launching their own cryptocurrencies. You're going to hear from those who really know what they're talking about. You're going to get exclusive early access to insider announcements for ICOs and any breakout market moves. And you're going to stay updated on the latest portfolio mix that we're carrying. Now, we process this a lot. This is easily $1,000 worth of coaching value. When we've done one-on-ones, this is easily the value we could be asking for this. But you also get the following when you enroll in the Smart Crypto Coach. Basically, access to our private Facebook group. This is a group of other investors just like you who are submitting questions all the time and getting those answers real time. For those who couldn't submit their question and answers to this webinar or any of our other phone calls, you can actually interface with other people real time. You can collaborate with other crypto investors. Sometimes other crypto investors are finding hidden gems that you didn't know about.
Yep.
So this will totally be available to you. You can learn the latest and greatest exchanges and tools that we're using, because there's new tools all the time that really help you map the progress of a cryptocurrency. And really important, we're going to be avoiding crypto scams and from others' experience real time, because nothing is as fresh and as clear as when someone gets on the private Facebook group and just say, hey man, I lost my money on this thing over here, please avoid it. So this is easily a $500 value of everyone getting on anytime they're available to learn from other crypto investors. Along with that is the Smart Crypto's market segmentation. Now this is one tool we use to actually start segmenting the crypto market to understand, is this a currency? Is this a technology? What is its technology? So you can actually see how our crypto team segments it out to really get clear on what we're investing in. Then we actually use that tool to analyze new cryptocurrencies, and I'll be showing you how I use this to go, hey, is this a valid investment? And it helps you easily and quickly actually compare this new cryptocurrency you're researching to similar cryptocurrencies you faced in the past, and then understand how they're moving relative to each other. And then basically just understanding the behavior of a crypto at a glance, because sometimes you might be at work on your lunch break and not really know, is this a decision I should make or not? We want to give you the market segmentation tool. And this is easily a $1,000 value that we've created here for you. We really believe, and we use this tool ourselves. And then the other thing I want to offer you guys, our fourth bonus, is my Smart Crypto smartphone trading tools. I know you guys are on the go. If you're like Chris, managing multiple businesses, if you're like me, managing my multiple businesses, you want to make sure that you have the latest and greatest information and can take action on the go. So I'm actually going to show you my setup for your mobile phone to have the best information available at your fingertips. Along with that, I actually show you how to get updated notifications all in one place, so that as soon as news is breaking on something, or there's a breakout move, or something's going to the moon and you need to sell, I want you to have access to that just like I do. And then investing on the go with the latest tools. There's one particular exchange I love for their mobile app. It's safe, it's secure, it's updated. And so you can basically see what pro crypto investors like myself use. So basically, we've put a value of this of $1,000 as well. We think this is a really critical tool for you to invest on the go. So we also wanted to make sure that a lot of people are asking questions about self-directed IRAs and crypto investing. So we wanted to make sure that we could help you hear from industry professionals. So we want to make sure that you guys have the latest ways to use your IRA to invest in cryptocurrency, and hear the pitfalls of IRA crypto investing, and learn the latest tax implications, because things are changing.
Sure, and in 2018, without a doubt, cryptocurrency is going to be taxed a lot more than it has been previously.
Yeah.
And so it's important to understand these tax implications, but also if you have the opportunity to do a tax-deferred account like a self-directed IRA, it's going to be an awesome opportunity for you to really invest those dollars and make a huge impact. Absolutely.
So we easily value this. If you were to sit with an IRA professional and then sit with a law professional like Chris, you're easily paying out the nose about $1,000 for this. Easily valued that. So look, real quick, let's review everything we're going to give you guys if you purchase on this webinar today. The Smart Crypto Coach Accelerator digital training course for $2,000 worth of value easily. 30 days of Smart Crypto Coach included another $1,000 of value. Access to our private Facebook group, $500 value. The Smart Crypto Market Segmentation Analysis Training, easily $1,000. We use this daily. My own Smart Crypto smartphone trading tools, and this is just the insider secrets of what I'm doing day in and day out, also $1,000 value. And then the self-directed IRA crypto investing training, another $1,000 value. Listen, real world value of $6,500. We've looked at all of our competitors. They're charging this and more. So we absolutely believe that the value is there.
So when we talked about how to price this course, we looked at all of our competitors in this particular space. First of all, I don't think they have nearly the credibility or the knowledge that we do, and we've hopefully demonstrated that for you, but they were selling these things for thousands of dollars. So, $2,000, would that be an appropriate investment for this course? Very possibly right, but we're not going to charge $2,000. Would $1,000 be a great investment for this course? Well, certainly I think the value is there. You've got all of the amazing material that we're going over. Would $1,000 be worth it? Yes, it would be worth it. But guys, right now, today, you can get the Smart Crypto Accelerator for just $297. So just $297 of an investment in yourself can get you started right now on investing appropriately, safely into cryptocurrency. Now, in addition to that, you're going to get an opportunity to participate in our coaching program. So for the first 30 days, if you click the appropriate box, it's going to be no charge to you. So there's no charge. After that, if you want to enroll, there's no contracts or anything like that. It's just $97 a month. So what you want to do right now, guys, is you want to click this button below, or you want to go to smartcryptocoach.com/go. So just click the button below and you can start your investment in just $297 worth of amazing training material. Plus you get instant access to our coaching program for 30 days free. And then after that, it's just $97 a month. to maintain our coaching program. So Grant, walk us through the order page, if you will.
Super easy order page. You guys seen these 100 times. Just a quick enter your credit card. You'll be ready to go. I do want to point out, just as Chris said, make sure you check off, yes, I want these bonuses and I want the coaching program. That will give you access to all the additional items I listed where you're getting my insider secrets. You're seeing what I use on my cell phone. So right here, check off this box. This box will give you access to all the stuff that will not, I mean, it's great you'll have the accelerator course. I think you'll get up and running very quickly. You'll avoid a ton of traps. You'll make some money and you'll protect your downside with the accelerator. When you check this box, you'll get the stuff that I think will take you over the edge and really help you multiply your investment.
Not only that, let's talk about one of the fast action bonuses you can get right now today, which is looking over Grant's shoulder. So folks, this gentleman made over 3,000% return last year. That's 30 times his money on crypto investing. Is this somebody you want to learn from? Absolutely. So right now, you're going to be able to see what Grant is buying or holding. You're going to be able to see what Grant is selling and learning why. And you're going to learn the reasons behind Grant's current mix in his portfolio. And you're going to get informed updates as long as you remain a member of the Smart Crypto Coach program. So again, an amazing value right now for those people who take action today, who make an investment in themselves for just $297, you're going to get that fast action bonus. So folks, let's review everything that this includes.
Again, you're going to get the Smart Crypto Coach Accelerator digital training course, 24 Power Pack lessons, again, a $2,000 value. 30 days of Smart Crypto coaching goes alongside with that. This is like having your own private crypto coach to guide you, easily a value of $1,000. Access to our private Facebook group, as we've said before, learning from other crypto investors. You couldn't get a better amount of experience in one location, easily a $500 value. So then you get the Smart Crypto Market Segmentation Analysis training, and I show you exactly step by step in my training how I use this to help me make better crypto buying and selling decisions, easily a value of $1,000. So then I will show you my actual mobile phone setup and the trading tools I use and am passionate about using so that we're all busy, you're busy, I'm busy. This is how I make my cell phone a crypto trading platform. Easily $1,000 value on my coaching on that. And then last but not least, we're talking about the self-directed IRA crypto investing training. Hear from a professional who's going to show you step by step and really break down what the state of self-directed IRAs are for you. Easily another $1,000 value. And then if you act, as Chris said, on today's webinar, we're going to throw in the fast action bonus of looking over my shoulder, seeing what my portfolio mix is, learn my trading mix and why I'm holding what I'm holding and where I think it's going. You can't even put a price on that investment. So the real world value of this investment would easily be $6,500.
So folks, all of this you can get for just $297, an investment of just $297. All you need to do right now is click the button below this presentation to enroll, or simply go to smartcryptocoach.com/go. So folks, that is a tremendous amount of value. If you have looked at any of the prices of any other people that are quote-unquote gurus in this field, it's thousands and thousands of dollars. We are enabling you to get in right now today and get access to this information for just $297. And then the coaching program is going to be 30 days free to you. And then after that, it's just $97 a month. So again, tremendous value today, tremendous amount of opportunity for you right now to take this incredible opportunity and start making an investment in yourself for just $297.
So while we're seeing people purchase and write in some questions, Chris, let's answer a few of these questions for them. What do we have?
So for our first question is, how long will it take me to go through the training and buy my first cryptocurrency? Grant, you want to take that one?
Yeah, definitely. So honestly, you could crank through the material and in a few hours, especially in that getting started quickly section, you can actually buy and hold your first Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, whichever it is. So honestly, there's a ton of material there, but if you crank through that material, you could get going today or tomorrow and have your own first Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. So we get you started quickly. We cram a ton of info, but we get you started quickly on that. Let's see. Okay, yeah, everyone's asking this question. We might as well. Is it still possible to become a millionaire even if I'm just getting started today?
Well, of course it's possible, and I got to tell you, Grant, you know, as I mentioned before in the webinar, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So your step today towards becoming that millionaire is to make an investment in yourself and to make the investment right now so that you can actually become that millionaire. But the attorney in me does want to give you the earnings disclaimer that we're not making earnings claims, but I think anyone can see all of the success people have had in cryptocurrency. You know, we're not giving outlandish testimonials or anything like that because we just don't feel comfortable doing that. But you can look at the news reports, you can see how people have actually turned their, you know, 10,000 into a million and when it comes to cryptocurrency. But again, we're not making earnings claims. But what I would tell you is that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Take that step right now and make an investment in yourself.
Definitely, definitely.
Here's another question. Can I cash out my Bitcoin to US dollars at any time?
Oh, yeah, I mean, lots of ways. If you're on an exchange or a wallet like Coinbase, you could pretty much withdraw it relatively instantly. You can also use some of the technologies we've talked about before that are coming out, like Crypterium.io. 10x is another platform you might be able to have where you can actually just use your cryptocurrency and not withdraw it. But Coinbase is the easiest, where you can actually sell instantly no matter where the market's at. It'll drop it into your Coinbase US dollar account, and it'll be ready for you to transfer that to the bank of your choice at that point. So yes, absolutely, if you're stewarding your money well. The only hang up I would say is if that Bitcoin is in a currency exchange, and if there's a basic cramming of a ton of orders, they might temporarily suspend any new orders, which would include a sell order. So the trick is don't get sucked into panics. If you want that currency, then move that currency when you need it or before you need it. Just don't get stuck in a pinch on a particular exchange where there might be a suspended wallet. It's usually only temporary, but the easiest is Coinbase to US dollar account.
Great questions, guys.
Yeah, questions.
Keep them coming. We're going to try to answer as many as we can. We might not get to all of your questions, but just keep them coming. Let me tell you a quick little story about a guy who prayed to the Lord every night. And he said, "Lord, let me win the lottery." And he did that for every single night of his life. Well, he passed away, and he was so mad. He went up to the pearly gates, and he said, "Lord, I was the perfect human being. I did everything you asked. I asked for one simple thing, Lord. That was let me win the lottery. Lord, was that so wrong to ask for?" And they just said back to him, they said, "Well, son, you got to buy a ticket." And you see, folks, so many people go through life without making that investment, without making that ticket and getting that ticket. So you might have been hearing about cryptocurrency when you first started this. You might have been hearing about Bitcoin. But the reality is you got to take action, and you got to start somewhere. And right now is your opportunity to make an investment in yourself. It's just $297, and then there's free coaching for 30 days, and then it's just $97. Can you imagine how much better you're going to be when you can actually start doing what it is you said you were going to do in this new year? So, Grant, I want to thank you for being on the webinar.
Thank
I
you.
know this was
Thank
a
you.
lot of work for everyone. I want to thank the people that were here with us on the webinar.
Thank you.
We sincerely hope you make the investment in yourself. And what I want to say to you all is what I always say at the end of the webinars, and that is that I'll see you at the top.